Hey guys, in this video I'm going to install this ductless mini split system from MRCool. This is 12K version which is running from 115 volts, and this video is going to be divided to three parts. First is unpacking, second installation, and third part I will do quick test how much it can cool and heat space in 1 hour. This is going to be a little bit unique setup because I'm going to install this between bathroom and room. So my refrigerant lines and condensate lines will go inside the wall to the crawl space. And compressor is going to be installed in the crawl space. Let's unpack this unit and see what is inside. So here's the unpacked unit. So what we see in package, it's we have some instructions manual and 2 additional air filters, or it looks like some air filters. Then we have adapter for, as I understand, this is for drain hose. Then remote control, 2 additional insulation pads. Then controller to connect our unit to Wi-Fi and monitor using application. And then we have this template, how to mount your unit on a wall and where to drill hole to run copper lines. Then this unit itself on the top side. So here we can see air filter and this communication cable. So if I see this unit from the back, so on the back, this is mounting plate that is going to go to the wall, and this unit is going to be attached to it. And here's copper lines. When I was unpacking, I found this plastic piece. I was searching from which place it broke, and I found it was here. So right now, this mounting plate is not going to hold in place because this one is broken. So here's the same piece. So it's holding this here, but broken here. I just called customer support, and they're gonna ship me new unit in a 5 to something business days, which I like. It's a great customer support. And when I asked like what do I do with this unit, they said just keep this, which I'm not sure what I'm gonna do this, like keep this for spare parts. I don't need so many spare parts, but it's definitely good customer support. But I wish I can return this so they can just replace this part and give it a second life. Okay, so now let's unpack external unit. Okay, so here's the external unit. So what it comes for refrigerant lines. Then we have this drain hose. Then we have some adapters. As I understand, this is to go through the wall. We'll see this later. And here's the pads for the legs to install this unit to, as I understand, avoid any vibration. Then we have these wrenches here to, so first and oh, just one. Okay, so this wrench is to open refrigerant lines when it's going to be connected. And then unit itself. Specification for unit 115 volts, and circuit ampacity is 15 amps, but consumption for this unit consumption is 11.5 amps. And for this unit, for internal unit, I see that it's saying like minimum circuit ampacity 3 amps, but it's still, this unit is going to be connected to that one, so 115 volts is going only here. Then on the back side right here we have connections for refrigerant lines. So this is back of this unit. So next step, I'm going to install this template right here, and this is wall, it's not external wall to the house. This door leads to the bathroom, and I have a 2-inch hole right there underneath between walls going to the crawl space, and this is where lines is gonna go in the crawl space. This is only like location where I can install this unit. And if we just check template right here, I don't have enough space from the top. It's requiring in the specs it's saying 6 inches from the top. So what I'm gonna do, I will just cut this piece of trimming and install my unit, install AC unit right with this line. metal plate mounted on the wall. So next step I'm going to do is just take these blades, and for pipe hole is going to be 90 millimeters or 354 inch. I have 4 inch, so this one I'm gonna use it here. Now I'm passing rope inside this wall underneath to crawl space, and let's go and see where condenser is going to be installed. So here's the exit, side exit from this room, and here this door from another side. And I don't want to install this AC unit anywhere on the side of house, because it's gonna be too visible. I don't like this much. And I was planning to install this unit right here where my main compressor installed, but it's not enough space. I have only space here. This distance is 36 inches. MRCool is 31 inch, so I have just 3 inches from either side, which is not enough. So I'm planning to install this in a crawl space. Here's the access in the crawl space, and let me show where it's going to be installed. So we're in the crawl space right underneath a room where internal unit installed, and here you can see 2.5 inch hole with a rope which is going from the room, and I hope it's going to be enough size hole to run condensate and refrigerant lines and signal cable. So my idea is to go around this crawl space and then pass this wall. You can see I start doing drilling the hole, and let me show where compressor itself is going to be installed. And here's another side of this wall where refrigerant lights is gonna go. So here's I start drilling this hole, and the compressor is going to be installed right here. My crawl space is about 150 yards, so it's going to be enough air for this to operate. Additionally, it's right here is ventilation. So my next step is to put concrete pad for compressor, drill this hole, and I'm gonna wait for a new internal unit to arrive to connect all of these lines. And here's the exit from crawl space. So just for your reference. So right behind this door is the main condenser installed that we just saw in a second. Just finished concrete. Also, I did this template where I marked all legs location for compressor, and I added studs right there in the concrete, so it's going to be easier installation. And just as a final step, I'm doing this brush finish where I'm gonna brush this concrete, and it's gonna have this rough finish. I just received this unit. It took 6 business days to arrive, and my next step, I'm going to push these pipes into the wall. I cut space, I cut a little bit more opening here, so I can I have more space like to bend these pipes. And right now this is somewhere here, and I'm waiting for helper to help me to push it from here, and in a crawl space I will receive these pipes and will bend gently to the place where it's going to be installed, right there in the crawl space. Then in this room, before pushing these pipes all the way into the wall, I will connect these pipes to connectors in an indoor unit. One downside of this installation is I'm not going to be able to test for leaks because it's going to be inside the wall. So I hope these connectors will work as expected. And then we will need to wrap these connectors into this rubber. This is like very soft rubber, vibration and sound dampening pads. Okay, so now I'm waiting for help, and we're going to pass these refrigerant lines through the wall. Unfortunately, I was not able to record video when we were passing lines in the crawl space, but here's a picture right before I applied this rubber material around the connections, and we passed this into the wall. So right now we're underneath the house, and you can see that refrigerant lines going from the floor, and what I'm doing right now, I'm wrapping them in this white, what is it, material, and passing them through the hole that we just did. I leave drain cable, this pipe, drain pipe, alone because it's shorter than condensating line. It's shorter than that one, and this line is gonna go to a condensate pump that we're going to install. Next step, what I'm doing, I'm hanging these refrigerant lines. Instead of doing a coil, I'm just doing like very slight curve, and all rest of lines is going to be in this part of crawl space. And I'm hanging them using these metal straps, which is used for duct work. It has a little bit sharp edges, so I'm applying electrical tape just to avoid any damage for insulation for refrigerant lines. Okay, so the next step I'm planning to do is I will unwrap all of this protection from refrigerant lines, and I'm going to connect this to main compressor unit. So what is important here, when we're aligning those lines with connections in a compressor, it's important that these lines is to be straight. So now I need to adjust these copper lines to go back a little bit, and to make this to be straight line, same with this connection. So see, when I'm inserting, this has two rubber gaskets, and it's important like to be straight. So in this case, we're not gonna damage these gaskets. So I'm just moving like straight forward and just start tightening this connection. Okay, and now the most exciting part for this setup process. We're going to open these valves. Okay, I don't see any bubbles, and this is a really good sign. Next step is electrical. Here's the cover, and we have a signal cable that is going from an internal unit, and our neutral, hot lines, and the ground. All of these cables coded, so we have 1 to 1, white is second, and the black is third. So it's hard to miss, to do incorrect connection here. Okay, so I turned the circuit breaker on. Now let's try to test our unit. Okay, it's not blowing yet. I assume it's gonna take some time to start compressor and make this running. Let's go in the crawl space and see how compressor works and how loud is that. Okay, so this unit is running, and you can hear how much noise it's making. Basically, it's like really quiet. And the internal unit start blowing. I can feel this nice warm air. Okay, let's test what is the temperature. So walls at 67, and outside from unit we're getting about 120. Here is a step where I'm connecting USB controller to air compressor. This controller is going to help us to connect air compressor to Wi-Fi and control it using application. Steps pretty clear. We just need to open lid on air compressor and install adapter, and then follow steps to connect to Wi-Fi and app. And here is a few screenshots from application where you can see what type of settings we can do from app. Also, we can set schedule when to run unit at what temperature, and then we have two different screens with timeline and history when unit and for how long it was running. So right here I'm cutting my 3/4 PVC pipe, which is going from garage. It's a drain pipe for main AC unit, and I'm installing two T connections. One connection is going to be for drain hose, which is going from a room from internal unit, and the second connection is going to be for pump, and this pump is going to collect water from compressor and pump this outside of the house as well. Here's the final result. These copper lines going around in a crawl space and then going through this wall. It's not touching this concrete anywhere. So then this condensate line going with slope on the left and going to drain pipe outside house. Then compressor, drain pipe from compressor connected to this pump, and the pump going to this location as well. I just use these 3/4 caps and drill them so I can insert this vinyl tubing. And here is the electrical box with heavy duty switch, which is capable to do 30 amps, and 120 outlet to connect condensate pump. Also, I have to install compressor on a small additional rubber feet to just raise this little bit to connect condensate line. And here is a connection through the wall from other side. Now I'm going to do performance testing, and the first test is going to be cooling capability. So we have 4 temperatures here, 79.5 and 79.8. This is temperature in this room. So then this is external temperature on outside temperature right now, so almost 83 Fahrenheit. And this sensor is installed this in a crawl space, so we have 60 Fahrenheit in a crawl space, and this is installed 3 feet away from a compressor. So I'm gonna write these parameters here, and we will perform 1 hour test. We'll see how it's gonna how AC will be able to cool this room. So I'm gonna hit this at 62. It's minimum what we can set. And let's just do this test for 1 hour. Okay, here's the result after 1 hour. Room temperature dropped from 80 to 67. Crawl space rose from 60 to 64, and the outdoor temperature we got disconnected sensor, but it dropped just by 1 Fahrenheit. And I'm recording outdoor temperature just to make sure, just to show that we didn't have drastic temperature change outdoor, so it's not affecting our test. Now I'm starting second test. Room in temperature 64 Fahrenheit, outside temperature is 60 right now. Temperature in the crawl space 60. So I'm just going to start. This is 86, and let's come back in an hour and see what results we're gonna get. Here's the results after 1 hour. So we've got room temperature 70, crawl space 57.5, and outdoor temperature rose by 3 Fahrenheit. Alright guys, that's all about this video. I hope you liked the installation process. If you have any questions or recommendations, please let me know in the comments. Also consider subscribing, and as always, thank you for watching and see you later.